When I was 9, I had a prophetic, mystical vision of a great four-headed creature making unbelievable sounds with its mouths. This creature from Liverpool on the Ed Sullivan Show. And everything about my life was sublimely and radically altered. You maybe know this vision. The great poet William Blake wrote, "Imagination is the real and eternal world of which this vegetable universe is but a faint shadow." There's more spiritual instruction in those 17 words than we'll likely find anywhere else if we open the doors of our perception. Blake is telling you that your imagination is the window to your soul. Open it up and dance through. When I was young, I began writing songs and poetry, and I've never stopped. I dropped out of college after 6 weeks because it just felt like more high school, but I wanted to write and sing, and so I did. In this life, I've placed two things above all else: imagination and love. That's my creed. I've abandoned organized religion, nationalism, patriotism, materialism, and opened to imagination and love. It's become clear to me that every single human has the innate ability to make great art. Every one of us is born with that energy within us, within every cell and molecule, and it simply comes down to, will you move with it and give yourself to it, or will you allow a twisted, broken system to kick it out of you? Okay, when people hear songwriter, the immediate default thought in their mind is something about making it, as in big. People mean well, and we all gratefully appreciate that, but this make it idea is born of a competitive, materialistic aberration. In a sense, I've already made it in that I write songs and poetry. I paint. Therein is the making. Whether it's poems or songs or paintings or the writing retreats and workshops that I lead, all are in pursuit of the mystery at the center of the heart. Nikos Kazantzakis once wrote, "The highest point one can attain is not knowledge or virtue or goodness or victory, but something even greater, more heroic and more despairing, sacred awe." Along with my bandmates, Christina Machusik and Paul Wegman, I'm deliriously falling down in the fields of awe, in that place where no one knows, but rather witnesses fearlessly what arises in the deep inner loam of song. I am always longing to reach more people with the ideas and images in my songs, yes, but I don't do these things to become famous or rich or to get people to like me. I aspire to art to comprehend what it really means to be human, to be dwelling unarmored in that beauty at the center of the heart. So in this material world, I sell CDs at concerts and online, and sometimes I sell some paintings, hardly mountains of money, but to pursue art and simultaneously share in the profound love of my beloved partner Cindy and our children and grandchildren, that's wealth. All I can do is gaze in gratitude and wonder. Around about 2000 and something, my first album, Honor Among Thieves, which was recorded in 1983, started to spark interest among many different people on every continent. Suddenly, people online were listening to the songs and discussing them in English, Greek, Italian. I started getting orders from Europe and Asia, Canada and Australia, and on, even some from this place called the US. I don't know how this happened. And then out of the blue came an email from Jim Allen, a music critic for Rolling Stone, praising my songs as among his personal favorites. He's since written about us generously in The Village Voice and elsewhere. And then at Christmas, he included our new album, Ancient Chains, in an article entitled Great Singer-Songwriters You Should Know, but Probably Missed, in 2019. Allen wrote, "Singer-songwriters are too frequently compared to poets, but Terlazzo is indeed an actual poet who also has a long musical history." And I should really genuflect when I tell you that Allen compared me to the late, great Leonard Cohen in that article. He went on to say, "In the absence of the aforementioned Cohen from this mortal plane, it feels good to hear the pure poetic muscle Terlazzo brings to bear and be reassured that somebody still knows how to sling it." I'm reading too fast, aren't I? We'll just pause here for a moment. There's Leonard. Not yet. Okay, so this is the new album that we worked on and some of the paintings that I did for it. There's Leonard Cohen. After getting over the initial shock of his statement, After getting over the initial shock of that statement and the subsequent gratitude, my family and I all had a great laugh over that phrase, pure poetic muscle, because Jim Allen had no idea when he wrote it. You know, I'm really getting confused here. He said in the article, in the absence of the aforementioned Cohen from this mortal plane, it feels good to hear the pure poetic muscle Terlazzo brings to bear. After getting over the initial shock of that statement and the subsequent gratitude, my family and I all had a great laugh over that phrase, pure poetic muscle, because Jim Allen had no idea when he wrote it that my father was a world champion weightlifter who had competed all over the US and Europe. Here he is with my mother at Coney Island. There he was. We could all hear my parents laughing throughout the cosmos. I mean, how often do you hear poet and muscle in the same sentence? Now, Leonard Cohen obviously is a great teacher to me, but for anyone to think of me as living in his neighborhood is mind-boggling. That's a deep, great honor. I'm happy and grateful to be able to wipe the dust from his boots. My work is to try to speak what can't be spoken. We are in this world not merely to amass possessions. We're here to comprehend what it means to be in this human skin, and then finally to transcend it all. That is why we imagine. Thank you for listening.